If you folks can let me know if you can see me and hear me, that would be awesome. It feels like I'm in the eye of the hurricane right now. It is storming something fierce outside. We're all persuading all the time. Sorry, there's a little bit of a delay here, folks. Can y'all see me and hear me? Do y'all hear the thunder and the rain and everything? It's ridiculous. I'm prepared for it, though. I'm prepared. I'm just checking y'all's chat here, folks. I'm not trying to be rude. I promise. As soon as I know we're 5 by 5, we will kick this thing off. Thank you, Nana. We're 5 by 5. I appreciate it. How y'all doing this evening? I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. I also see some new faces. Welcome. Welcome. Nothing wrong with being new here. I was new here about a year ago myself. Eric King. Yeah, I don't know. Can you guys tell me if you can hear it? We have a metal roof. Can y'all hear that in the background? That rain? I don't know. You may not be able to pick it up. I don't know how good the microphone. Oh, you can. Il Wilson, thank you. Yeah, it's crazy, crazy. If we lose power, we lose power again. I'm prepped for all that. But if the stream just cuts, I'm not trying to be rude. So let me tell y'all the situation. Listen at the water coming out of the gutter, man. Here's the situation at the Ponderosa. Before we get into the prep and stuff, this is more personal stuff. Hey Liz, how are you doing? Patriot Ninja, Joanne, American Trucker, y'all are awesome. Thank you for being here. So I don't know if I mentioned this over here. I know I told the folks over on Patreon. My wife and I, we have an anniversary coming up, and I rolled the dice on this when I'm trying to be romantic, son. I normally suck at giving gifts, but I went ahead and paid for like the Dirty Dancing weekend. They do it up in Virginia in, I can't remember, Mountain Lake, Virginia, if you're familiar. And I had a plan. See, I found out they have a costume contest, all right? You dress up like, what's his name, Johnny Castle and Baby Houseman, and I cannot believe that I know that, by the way. My wife will be so proud. But they have a costume contest. And I started thinking outside the box. I was going to go as Dalton from Roadhouse. Have y'all seen Roadhouse? And I ran this by my wife, and I'm like, I'm going to order a double deuce shirt and wear blue jeans. Boy, she lit into my hind end today. She's like, you're not going to do it, son. So she was mad. Apparently, she's going for the romance. I was going to try and win a trophy or something. Don't put them in the corner, son. That's right, grown-up Girl Scout. Yes, do it. Tammy, see, my whole reasoning was there are going to be a lot of guys that got drugged to this weekend. I'm okay with going, but I guarantee there are going to be a lot of guys there that don't really want to be there. And so when they recognize the shirt, they would immediately vote for me. I was going for the win here, but nah, she ain't having none of it. But yeah, there you go. Just wanted to tell y'all that. I also have some other breaking news. The winner of the trench knife did not get in touch with me. I literally cannot give this knife away. I'm going to try it one more time in the morning, and I'm going to make sure that the winner is subscribed here. It's a painstaking process, but I gave them an entire week, and they didn't email. I'm going to make sure that it's a nation member that is subscribed, that is on the page almost every day. Okay, it's got to be somebody at this point that I recognize that's going to see it within the week. And after a week, folks, if they do not email me, good Lord, I'll kick it over to Patreon. I know those folks will email back, but it was not magic. It was not. But it may be now because I'm gonna have to redraw it. I know everybody wants it. Who said that? Homestead Homeboy. Everybody wants it, but then when people win it on here, nobody ever reaches out and emails me. It's crazy. So there you go. I couldn't believe it. I figured they would email, within an hour of Shotgun last week, but no, they didn't do it. So tomorrow morning's premiere, okay? Is there anything that you folks want to talk about before I start pulling off of the insane notes that I have. This week has been crazy in terms of the news. Renee, you did make it. Ma'am, I hope you're doing better. I know that whole situation is a bad situation, but I promise you it is going to get better. Hang in there, okay? I know it, Michael. I would recognize that name. There are probably 300 or 400 names that I know on this channel very well that have been here for a while, that are here almost every day. And if it rolls over to one of those, I know you folks will email me at that point. Plans for the door-to-door. Okay, we can go there, Jonathan. I just have to be a little careful with that. We talked about it this week, and we also talked about it some on Patreon. And I believe Jason at the Angry Prepper covered it yesterday. And he made a really good point. We were talking about the same thing over on Patreon. And that is, how do these people know who have had, oh, there goes the power. How do they know who's had the whiskey shot minus the whiskey and who hasn't, right? And again, really quickly, if the power is dead, folks, I am so sorry. But it is hammering. So I think by going door to door, folks, I think this is how they're going to make their list. You understand what I'm saying? So you want to be very careful. When you answer the door, I get it. Answering naked, some of you said naked, or in a Trump mask or with a boomstick. I get it and I respect that. But be careful. Because if they get the wrong reply or even no reply when they knock on your door, it might put you on the wrong list. And that's a scary idea. Just don't answer it, Matt. No, I understand that, but after 3 or 4 times, they're going to figure out these people just aren't answering the door. That would be my fear anyway. And then you would go on the bad list. And for those that don't know what the bad list could possibly be, I mean, we're talking about camps that are furnished by FEMA. I'm trying to dance around it here. It's weird because you guys can speak the truth in the chat and Google won't nail you, but if I speak it here on video, they will nail me. James Williams, I respect it, brother. I seen that comment. He said, put me on a list and I will put my boot where the sun don't shine. But he said it a little more colorful. And I respect that. But at the same time, if you have armed people later down the road showing up at your door, you know, and they're like, you need to come with us, at that point, it'll be too late. Dominic, that's what I was telling the folks on Patreon. I would never encourage you folks to lie. But at the same time, we need to practice being gray man on it. You know what I mean? My plan personally, and I can't believe I'm throwing this out on YouTube, is to answer the door and say, yes, of course we've had it. What kind of Neanderthal would not take this thing? I encourage it. Please tell my neighbors to take it, whatever. I'm going to be bigger on this thing when I answer the door than the people coming to the door. And then hopefully I get on the right list, you know what I mean? But you have to be gray, man. You don't want to draw attention to yourself when it comes to this, because again, I don't want to encourage you to lie. I know some of you just aren't going to lie, and I respect that. I really do. But if you have families, you need to be mindful because this thing is getting, it's getting out of control, isn't it? I mean, it's been out of control for a while. Yeah. Charish Hamilton said, you know, we're already on list. What am I talking about? Y'all on a list right now just for being here on this live stream. I promise you. They're like, prepper, check. Own a boomstick, check. They gonna hold the line, check. But that's my plan anyway. Let's see here. Captain Flux, I did hear, I listened to a little bit of it. Sometimes his videos run a little long. I was listening to a little bit of his before I went live, and also Papa Prepper. I was lurking over there if you were over there. And Native and Devout. I checked out a video over there that he had tagged me in, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So let's see here. Hopefully I am not buffering. Normally, if I'm buffering, folks, normally I would blame Google. but it may actually not be Google. It may be the weather tonight. I'm holding the line right there with you. All right to bear arms. That's what I'm talking about. Drew, at first, that's a good point. At first, I didn't think it was, but they are really, really pushing this thing to the point of lunacy. And American Trucker, they'll do it to you. I'm sorry about that. But they're pushing it to the point of lunacy. James and Millie, how are y'all doing? Weekend RVing, awesome channel. And they are in the chat. How are y'all? Tiny Titan, how are you? So Obama, y'all remember a man named Obama? He went to in the media. I read this earlier today. He put out 11 books that he would encourage Americans to read this summer. And so I checked his list out and I'm like, nah, son, that ain't happening. I'm going to encourage y'all tonight to read 11 books this summer as well, but make them history books and maybe focus on communism. You know what I mean? Know thine enemy. Sounding all fancy. Chuck Norris ain't having it. Independent Marine, how are you doing, brother? Scotty Hale. See, normally I would, take the first 10 minutes and just say hi to everybody, but I'm not trying to bore everybody, you know what I mean? I see y'all here in the chat. I see most of you every morning. Joseph, I didn't think Obama supporters could read. Well, opinions vary, as Dalton from Roadhouse would say. Magic Prepper. This happened to me last week. The Alaska Prepper was here last week and I had to straighten up in my chair. And now here we are, Matt. Welcome, brother. Magic Prepper, if you're not subscribed, he runs a fantastic channel. And he is knee-deep in a fight with Google right now. Censorship is real. East Tennessee Preparedness. Apologies that I'm not as regular as I used to be. New job, 12-hour rotating shifts. God bless. No, man, no apologies needed. I appreciate the super chat, but there's no apologies needed. I understand. You're one of the 20 people working here in the United States, man. You do your thing. Oh yeah, Matt. What are you talking about? Magic Prepper, you're a big dog. When you guys hit this stream, I'm like, you know what I mean? It almost pushes me, Matt, to the point where I say tortilla right. I caught a lot of hate for that today. I know it's tortilla, but I say tortilla. It's just, my tongue is trained in that way. Native and Devout, how you doing, brother? I've actually got you in my notes tonight. I went back and I read or watched one of your videos that you had tagged me in, and you made a lot of good points, and I appreciate it. But yeah, spend this summer reading 11 history books focused on communism. That is my suggestion to you. Take it, leave it. Muzzle flash is like tortilla. Yeah, I say it in a really banged up way. I mean, I've lived here pretty much my entire life, and I've picked up so much slang, Massachusetts, I say that wrong too, and people let me know about it quickly. Homestead Homeboy, North Carolina. Nation and Magic, awesome. It is awesome. And let me just say this real quick. Appreciate the super chat, by the way. Matt was one of the first and one of the only creators, really, when I was getting started, that emailed me back to answer some of my newbie questions when he didn't have to. He was already a huge channel, but he went out of his way to help me, and I appreciate it. The audio here used to suck, and I actually went to him and I was like, what kind of microphone do you use, man? And he hooked me up, so I appreciate him, man. Dude, seriously, I want us to be a tight-knit community. Thank you, John. Thank you, man. Thank you for being here. And that is the entire point of this community. Rudy, hold on now, hold on. Is Alaska Prepper in the house? Oh my God. Yes, Rudy, how are you, sir? You are probably going to be urinating in a gold toilet next month because my wife ordered so much Oxen Farms with your discount code. And you're welcome. But they were having incredible deals. Man, this is awesome. I'm so sorry about the background noise, the rain, folks. But it is what it is, you know. We really do need it right now in this area anyway. Every prepper needs a golden toilet. Magic prepper. Well, you know, man, I don't know about that. But yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So let me go through social media real quick, and then I'm going to get over to the note I have on natives stuff there, because it was, again, a really good video. Facebook this week, they have been talking about being locked and loaded. I think they're talking about the door knockers. I didn't really ask. And Tiny Titan, I saw that. You guys are having trouble with wildfires. It's pretty bad when Oregon is asking for rain. And also they were talking about how they were strapping in because the rest of 2021 was going to be a really rough ride. And I would totally agree. How many people out there are locked and loaded for the door knockers? Yeah, this is crazy. Alaska prepper in here, Magic prepper. Oh man, it's like two NBA stars, and they've jumped down to the what is the other league called? The NBA feeder league or whatever. I don't know. I ain't watched it in 5 years. They're down here slumming it with me, but I appreciate them being here. Golfing. Wow, this chat's flying. Let me see here. Golfing Girl, thank you for that. Thank you very much. Mr. Campbell Soup, thank you for the super chat. You are definitely behind enemy lines. Depending on where you're at in New York. I know there's some other patriots in upstate New York as well. For how long, I don't know. So, MeWe, they were talking about how warehouses are stockpiled right now, but stores can't seem to get their orders filled. Apparently this is a nationwide problem. The supply line, I don't know if this is an indication there aren't enough truck drivers. I don't know if this is people to load and unload trucks and things. I'm sure it has to do with the labor force. I feel like I'm inside of one of the ships on the Deadliest Catch, son. Like Wild Bill's getting ready to tell me that Rogue Wave's gonna hit the back of the Ponderosa. And finally, Telegram. Nana even made the comment. She said, when John looks over here, he's gonna be like, what is going on? Yeah, Nana, I did make that comment. They were talking about hard cider, wine, and snowmobiles. I know, 3 random things, right? But there you go. That's what they were talking about. So, to soar, I guess I'm saying that right. Thank you for sharing valuable information and encouraging me. You're very welcome. It is good to know that there are other people awake as to what is going on. God bless. I appreciate that. I didn't come out of the womb prepping. I've been prepping roughly, well, my daughter was 4, so about 8 years. You know, and it took an event to wake me up. It took a tornado in my case. But we all started somewhere, you know. So I appreciate that very much. James, the Southern Prepper. Love you, brother. Love your nation. It's our nation, brother. God bless us all in our days. Absolutely. Absolutely. So Native and Devout, who I believe is still in the chat, he posted a video earlier this week called Call to Arms. It's a really good video if you haven't seen it. It's here on YouTube. He did not pay me to say that. He did not ask me to say that. Okay, it's just it's a good video, and he's one of the guys I respect here in the community. He really is. I had a lot of people here on the channel when we first got going over here at Prepper Nation, and he's one of the guys. I always talk to people for a few minutes before or after, and he's just you know, he's a straight shooter, and I appreciate that in people. But he was talking about division. He was talking about how I'm going to call them the puppet masters. I don't remember the wordage that he used. I just watched it a little while ago, but I don't remember. But he was talking about how we're constantly divided. And I totally agree. You know, that's by design. That's so people that are in power can stay in power. And I just wanted to add, brother, that I think there should be a conversation on oppression here in the United States. But I think that conversation should start with Native Americans. I think they need to start that conversation, and we need to listen. Because if there's one group of people that has really got the short end of the stick, and this is just opinion on my part, it's the Native Americans from the jump. I mean, I think every race has felt oppression, you know, because I don't think that, it certainly used to be, but I don't think it's a racial thing now. I think it's a class warfare thing. I think to give you a good example, if I go into a restaurant, who am I, right? I'm just some random white dude. But if LeBron James walks in, he's going to get seated before I do because he's LeBron James, right? And he has tons of money. So I think it's a class warfare thing at this point. There is still oppression, but the average common American is the one being oppressed, you know, throughout all races. And they don't want us to come together and figure that out. Can you imagine a world, you know, where blacks and whites and Native Americans and Hispanics, etc., Asians, all woke up one morning and said, you know what, we're tired of the 1% dominating the 99%. Let's do something about it. They don't want us to do that. And so that, at least that's what I got from your video, brother. But it was a great video, and I appreciate that. And also, let me just say this. There was some supposed dirt thrown out on me a while back, brother. And I did not address it, and I'm not going to address it because it was nonsense. But I caught a live stream with you and Tribe, and y'all were actually taking up for me, and I respect that, man. I really do. Integrity to me is when you take up for somebody and they're not in the house to take up for themselves, you know? So I appreciate that. I'm just throwing it out there. So anyway, Fort Pulaski is no more. The Capitol fencing around the Capitol, obviously, it has come down. I saw the video today. Did y'all see that? We're calling it Fort Pulaski. I think she had a lot to do with it. Just opinion. Thank you, Truthful Troll. Thank you. What a name. I've still got to train myself to watch chat better, though, you know? It's still a newbie mistake I'm making. I promise I'm not trying to ignore anybody. I only do videos in my underwear, Steve. I don't think I'm subscribed to you, brother, and that really ain't that is not a great sales pitch. I got to be honest. Tear down this wall, Mickey FC. There you go. Forrest. It only took them 7 months, right? It only took them 7 months to open the Capitol back up. They acted like this country was going to be turned upside down when Biden started squatting in the White House. And here we are 7 months later, and I wonder how many resources, you know, how many work hours and how many resources went into that for nothing. You know, I can remember, and obviously I wasn't there, but I can remember seeing news reports and things where we had National Guard members like camped out and stuff in random buildings, just sitting over in the corner. Block 'em. How you doing? Potato Head Joe. Well, there you go. Melissa Dove. Melissa Dove is here. How you doing, ma'am? Melissa Dove holds the record. She is the only person that has ran to me in public that is in chat right now. I was actually with my son. We just left the Outlaw Prepper's house, and I ran into her at a Walmart up where they live. It wasn't their money they were spending for us. It's never their money. It's our money. Isn't that insane? And press 1 if you call him Potato Head Joe. Greg Bryson, thank you very much for that. Arkansas Living is here. Good Lord. What's up, brother? I didn't mean that in a bad way. I'm saying there are tons of creators in here, man. And here you come with your 50-gallon hat on. Now I really got to put my game face on. So what are your thoughts on the statues coming down in, was it Charlottesville? They're pulling the statues down, I saw today. I'll give you my thoughts in a second. I just want to see what y'all think about that first. Hello, Greg Bryson. How you doing, brother? He doesn't wave at him, Native? Arkansas Living stuck up now. He's big time. East Tennessee's had a racing history, and I think they're trying. My take on it personally is they're trying to, but I don't think these people realize how many cities and towns and highways and roads, etc., we have named after, you know, war heroes and presidents and founding fathers that would be deemed oppressive in 2021. It kills me, you know, these booger pickers in their basement or whatever, just picking their nose. They think America is like that video game Minecraft, where they can just go through and level everything and start over. And I don't think it's ever going to work that way. No matter how hard they try, they're not going to be able to scrub history completely away. I do think that they are not teaching correct history in school now. So that's hurting us a lot. Jennifer Cruz, how you doing, ma'am? River Rat, they don't understand or know it, and I don't think they want to know it. You know, if somebody's in here and they're younger, you know, they're like 20, I'm not trying to insult you, but the generation that's coming out now, they have a really short attention span, you know? It seems, and I have a short attention span, and when I'm saying that about somebody else, it's short, son. Dude, seriously, these people are satanic. It's a spiritual war. I believe it is too. Maybe not the average person, you know, with their feet on the street, throwing up the fist and stuff. I think they're stormtroopers, but the people that are the masterminds over on the extreme left, yeah, I do think it's spiritual. I think it has been for a while. Jonathan Hicks, I would have to agree. He said this generation coming up is screwed. Let me tell you something. This is something that I teach my kids. This is something that people my age in this area, we just know because our parents made us learn. You know, there are basic things that we know how to do in this area. We know how to fish. We know how to shoot. We know how to change a tire when it goes flat, swap out an alternator. This newer generation, they don't know how to do any of this stuff. You know, they get on their cell phone and they're going to send a tire emoji to some random person and hope that they get bailed out. And, I mean, like you said, they're in trouble. The Puppet Masters, Mr. Campbell Soup. Yeah. I mean, they go by many different names depending on the channel, but same people, same group of billionaires that are causing all the chaos. Dakota, what's up? Old Goat Face, I think you're trying to say a country boy can survive. I don't know what you're drinking over there. I'm drinking coffee just for the record. But if that's what you're trying to say, that's correct. Yeah. Why are we, Night of the Living Preppa says, why are we trying to change everything for 13% of the population? It's a good question. Indiana Prepper, how you doing, brother? That is a very good question. The minority, the extreme minority in this country, and you don't have to look further right now than public education to figure this out, is dictating what the rest of the country is doing. They have shamed, I think they've shamed people and guilted people into totally changing or try to at least, the culture here in America. And I do think it's nonsense. Rip Curl, how you doing, brother? The peacemaker of the community. I respect that, man. I really do. What I do a lot of times, Rudy and Matt, if you're still in here, and also Devout, etc., I lurk. When I'm over, for example, if I'm at Rudy's, I don't really say hi until toward the end of the stream, okay? And it's not to be rude, it's so Rudy can do his thing, and Matt, etc. And I'm always seeing Rip Curl in the streams, and he's like a very fair, very level-headed guy. And again, I appreciate that, man. Because at the end of the day, you know, the community of preppers, we don't all have to get along. We don't all have to be BFFs, but we're on the same side, right? John Kelly, True Grit. Yeah, great movie. Prepper Nerd, that's another one, man. How you doing? How do we make the communism takeover stop? Somebody just asked that. Sorry, let's see here. Well, somebody said it. There we go. Bonnie, that's a very good question. I think you can do two things immediately. Number one, you start with the kids. Our kids are being targeted. I just saw there's a popular video game called Fortnite. I don't play it or whatever, but a lot of kids do, millions of kids. And now they're running like diversity commercials and stuff like that. You start with your kids. You have to deprogram the nonsense. That's number one. And then I would say, number two, you tell the truth. You know, I realize religion's not for everybody, but if you're born again Christian, you tell people that. You don't be shamed out of it. You know, you speak the truth. And if you're not in any way into religion, you can still speak the truth. You just point to the Constitution and say it's this way, and it is what it is. You should never be ashamed of telling the truth, you know? And I said this last week, you don't say things out of malice to intentionally hurt people, but at the same time, if you speak your truth and they're offended, maybe they need to be offended. Maybe they're doing something wrong, you know, and I have to be very careful what I say here, but the extreme left in Hollywood right now, I really worry that they're dabbling into, how can I put this and dance around the algorithms here? I really think that they're embedded into the black market of things that happen to kids. I really do. And I think that they're trying to do things in this country to normalize it so they can do it out in the wide open. And that's not cool. That's not cool with me. And so I speak that truth, you know, and that's honestly, that's why Google stays on me 24/7, I think. And I ain't the only, look, I ain't crying here. I ain't got crocodile tears. All of the creators here on YouTube in the prepping community, we have to dance around certain things and we have to put up with the censorship. You know, I'm a level, it sucks to have to sit here and get done with a video and then worry about, you know, is the channel going to be pulled tomorrow or something. But at the same time, you can't let them make you live in fear to the point where you don't speak the truth anymore, you know? Guys, just opinion. You know, I'm just an opinionated guy. So there's all that. Domestic Gangster. Sophia, how are you doing? Another wonderful creator. She has a channel, in case you're interested, folks. We covered the statues. Haiti. Do you guys see where Haiti's president was assassinated this week, and now they are asking the U.S. to intervene? Is that nonsense or what? I don't really know the whole story with the assassination, but what I do know is we're just getting our troops out of a 20-ish year war that we did not win. And I do not think that we are up for another one. I don't think we're up for another Afghanistan right now. And to be fair, I don't think the troops that fought in Afghanistan and the Middle East, I don't think they lost the war. I think they pretty much won every battle. I think the leadership that sent them in didn't have a good plan, and they went into an unwinnable war. Basically, you're never going to flip the Middle East and westernize them. You're just not going to do it. And they should have known that, 20 years ago and however many billions of dollars ago. Marley, yeah, that's a good point. And again, I don't know the whole story with Haiti. It's not like I'm a Haitian expert. Am I saying that right? Haitian? But I do know that we can't afford a war. Our economy can't afford it. And our soldiers are probably tired of fighting wars abroad. We got bigger fish to fry. All right, Matt. See you later, brother. Yeah, Jonathan, that's a very good point that I can't really say that on live stream, but I do think it's connected. Somebody sent me some intel on Instagram. One of the morning premiere folks. I don't remember who it was right off, and I read it and I'm like, yep, this is connected. But again, it's something that I can't really repeat here. But yeah, you're spot on with that. Garden koi. Denny, that's an excellent point. That's the thing. I have empathy for anybody in any country that's going through anything. But we need to understand our economy is trashed right now. And as you pointed out, we have veterans that are homeless that are living in the streets. That should never happen. We have kids who don't have enough food to eat. We have cities that are living like third world countries right now, inner cities. We need to focus on the United States. Dukes of Prepper County, Canada, yeah, the torching of the church is not cool. And also what's not cool about that is the fact that it is happening and leadership in Canada is allowing it to happen. They're not really speaking out against it, which is even more scary. Because they're going to continue to push the needle further and further, right, until people start standing up. If it's allowed there, it may start here in the United States, and most people here in America, a lot of people at least, would probably just turn a blind eye and say, well, they deserve it, and they don't. Like, people can just, it's ridiculous, man. People can just put patriotic message in chat and it gets flagged. And then the moderators who do an excellent job here, they have to go and unflag it so it shows up. Tennessee Tactical, you are exactly right. He did sell him out. He is a horrible leader. Horrible. So let's talk about the big fight that's coming up, I think, for the next 6 months of 2021 until we close out 2021. I think it is going to be public schools. Not a lot of people are talking about public schools right now, but I think that there's a huge fight coming. I think that they are going to try and push masks in a lot of public schools. I think that they are going to either push or very strongly encourage the whiskey shot minus the whiskey and CRT. I think these things are going to be flashpoints once the school, years get going. It's not going to be good. Danetta, that's a very good point about teachers getting it and the kids not needing it. But I think that they're going to push it to the point where they're going to try and force kids into it as well. Close the Ark. Anyone hear Aaron Lewis's song, Am I the Only One? I did, because you folks recommended it, and I had it playing loud in my living room. I didn't realize he cussed so much in the song. My wife came in there and she's like, mad, son. She's like, what are you watching? I said, it's a patriotic song. Homeschool. Freshwater. Homeschool is the way to do it, but some parents, you know, the working class, what are they going to do during the day? You know, daycare, if you can find a daycare that's open, I mean, that's like a third or a half of your paycheck gone. I mean, it's just, they can't really afford to quit. And the powers that be, they know this. They know that one of their most powerful chess pieces to play on the board is public schools, and doctors and things like that. You know, we may eventually get to the point again where we're not able to go see a doctor anywhere unless we take this thing. Again, that's a powerful piece that they have to play. And we don't have many pieces to play. Jennifer Cruz, I'm not going to be writing a dad one-liner joke. My daughter, I used to be able to make her laugh with one-liners, and now she's just like, really, Dad? Yeah, Rip Curl, exactly. They're doing it at the university level now, a lot of colleges, but I think that they're eventually going to drop down and try it. They'll test the waters with public education, you know, K through 12, to see if they get any resistance. Because at that point, a lot of people will, I think, cave in, and they know it. No, Joseph, I think that, how can I put this? There are still a lot of holdouts for communism here in the United States. You know, the rich folks, they want to keep their money. They've made their money through capitalism. But I think that there are very powerful international players that are pushing for communism here in the United States. And I think that that's going to be the biggest thing pushing it. Dude, seriously, do you think Native Americans will join us? Thank you for that. It's really hard for me to say because I'm not a Native American. Thank God, because I would be pissed 24/7. Again, they've been done wrong since the beginning. I think at this point, you know, they're as American as anybody else, and they want their freedoms that are guaranteed, you know, by the Constitution. And I think anybody, Native American or otherwise, should have a problem with the government stepping in and taking on the role of a nanny, you know, because that's not freedom. Look, I do things sometimes. I drink too much coffee, I smoke cigars, and I'm an adult, and I know this is not good for me, okay? But freedom is having the ability to do it anyway. To sit out, you know, on the deck when it's not pouring down rain like a monsoon and smoke a good cigar, you know? That's freedom. But the government is getting to the point now where they're stepping in and they're dictating every facet of your life. And that's not freedom to me. Q of the South, thank you very much for stepping in and speaking up, because again, it's hard for me to put myself in that position, because I don't know, you know, what Native Americans have went through. It's one thing to read it in a book or something like that, but to actually live it is totally different, and it's really not for me to say. Jason Smith, brother, it is so old. It really is. They have worn this drum out. And I had to email MD Creekmore probably 2 months into the pandemic, because when it first started, he and I disagreed. He was like, this is nothing they're pushing, it's all planned. And I'm like, no, this is really bad. You know, this is Spanish flu 2.0. And then I had to go back like a whipped pup, and I'm like, I might have messed up here. I think you're right. So it's just so old. I mean, it really is. And all of the restrictions and the mask wearing and the propaganda that you see about standing so many feet apart and doing your part to help your community. And I'm just so tired of seeing it and hearing it on the radio, and it's just crazy. Cat's meow, it is. I can understand that. I can't say that out loud here, but I'm with you on that. Virginia crochets the commercials. Every other commercial, you know? Stacey Abrams, or I don't know. It's just, I think it's intended to do this to us. It's intended to wear us down to the point that we're just like, whatever, man, just do whatever you want to do. I was over on Patreon earlier, and Liz, if you're here, Liz was like, you know, there's just so many things going on. It's so hard to keep up. It's frustrating. And it is, but I mean, that's prepping. It does suck. Aloha from Hawaii. Aloha prepper. How are you? So hold the line. There you go, Robert. Wildfires in California, Oregon, and parts of Arizona. I was actually going to ask you folks about that because that's out west. Liz, yeah, again, I'm sorry if I'm buffering, Liz. I can't, it may not be Google tonight. It may be the thunderstorm outside. Joseph, yeah, they've been doing that for a while, but people still open carry. You know, a door greeter gonna come up and say, "Sir, you need to unstrap there." Nah, they're not gonna do it. I agree, Nicole, but at the same time, I would love to wake up tomorrow morning and still have a channel. And I promise I'm not making this up. Creators have literally woken up the next morning and their channels have been ghosted. So I do have to be careful. You know, it's unfortunate, but it's something that conservatives deal with on social media, and YouTube is one of those. Thank you, Nicole. I promise it's not me. I do talk sometimes on Patreon. I'll post a video that I mirror from somewhere besides Google, and I can speak freely, but I really do have to watch it over here. So Beetlejuice, I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I guess I should call her Miss Lightfoot, has officially asked, I almost said the P word, Joe Biden for help in Chicago. This after turning down the very same offer from President Trump. Do y'all remember when she did that? River Rat, yep. And it sucks for the people of Chicago because, in my opinion, if she would have taken President Trump's offer, and it was political, the reason she didn't take it, she didn't want President Trump to look good. It was an election tactic. But had she taken that help, not only would a lot more people be alive today in Chicago, but Trump really could have shown his strength as a leader, I think. And they just didn't want to hear it. She wasn't going to put up with it. And now it's totally out of control. The whole defund the police, that's not working. And I can't wait to see what, yeah, I always look like that House of Prep. How you doing, brother? I mean, what's Joe going to do, though? Is he going to send out vans of social workers? Can you imagine? Is he going to have people riding around with, you know, the megaphones out saying, "Come on, man"? You know, he see a violent crime. "Come on, man." Oh. I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see what Joe's response is. Maybe they'll go to the state capitol and they'll put the fencing up there that they took down from DC. Who knows? But I just thought it was ridiculous because a lot of people have lost their lives in Chicago, and if she would have just swallowed her pride and not been a politician for 5 minutes and taken President Trump's help, the National Guard would have rolled in and they would have cleaned it up. Beetlejuice sounds better, Eric said. Bill B, that mistakes were made. When I was taking it out, it accidentally ripped, so I had to throw it away. The old Fury poster, I really did. I don't have a bird cage anyway, man. The birds are all outside. Does Patreon censor Chuck Norris? I've heard that they will, if a post is too extreme, that they will censor it, but I've not had the first bit of trouble over there. The thing with the videos is you have to mirror them from somewhere else. And so if I'm talking unfiltered, I have to mirror it from like BitChute or Rumble or something over there. Don't say it 3 times. Denny, do not say it 3 times. Otherwise, Lightfoot comes to your city and she destroys it. Forrest, when I was younger, I looked like Brad Pitt. Now, Forrest, if I had a flashlight nearby, I would hold it up and we would get some truth out of you on that one, son. Oh, God. So we were talking about food storage this morning, the shortage rather, and having food storage and stacking it. And I got a couple of comments and one email, people that said they were tired of hearing that. There's no food shortage. They're tired of hearing it. And my reply was, if you don't want to stack food, don't stack food. If that's your belief, you don't think there's a problem with the supply line globally, you're not going to hurt my feelings at all, I promise. Stack something else, prep something else. But I would say within the span of, the past 18 months, the price alone, the price increase in groceries alone should justify the fact that you stacked food, if you stacked it. Food is just something that I don't want to run out of, It's just food and water and coffee. I don't want to run out of them. I can make do with most, somebody said TP shortage. I'll make do. There are leaves out in the woods or something. But somebody just said, who wouldn't stack food? Well, I think it's just people are tired of hearing about it, and I totally get that point of view. But at the same time, if we're not here on a prepping channel telling you about shortages, we're not doing a very good job, Prepping means to be prepared. And if we believe that a food shortage is coming, it's imminent, it's here, then we tell you, or at least I do. And I think there's enough evidence to indicate that there's a major food shortage on the way. It's already in certain places. We've already seen, the serving sizes go and the prices go. So this alone, it's a big deal. Food is kind of something you need. The long shot, that is perfect. The long shot said, prepper burnout can result in head in the sand. I totally agree. And I'm like everybody else. I get burnt out on shortages. I got to talk about a new shortage tomorrow. It's not really a new one, but it's an increasing problem. Night of the Living Preppa brought it to my attention today. But I mean, with the food, just stack it. Stack it or don't stack it. As for me, I'm going to continue to stack it as I can afford it. And I explained to them, I had somebody say, because I was talking about all the food I'm eating next week, I really don't want to eat half of it. And they're like, why are you prepping stuff you don't want to eat? That's stupid. And I tried to explain to them the way I prep food is calories and shelf life versus cost. If I find something cheap, even if it's not something I normally eat, I'll buy it anyway, because that's a lot of calories. It's got a good shelf life. To me, that's a good investment. And then my dogs will get it mixed in with their food if I don't like it, like Spam and stuff. If it's getting ready to go out of date or something, I'll replace it with more Spam when I catch it on sale. And then I'll take that Spam and I'll mix it in with the dog food, and they really like it. I really like tuna. Dude, seriously. Not from Subway. Other than that, I'm golden. Oh, man. Subway be giving out mystery tuna. Y'all hear? I think we talked about that last week, where they did independent studies on it through labs, and the labs are like, we've never seen DNA like this. It's not tuna. You know, Greg, that's a good point. We have Vienna sausage here, and I wish I would have brought it up this morning, because I would prefer it over Spam or corned beef, to be honest. I mean, they're all nasty, but when cooked right, I can eat any of the three. I cannot, just eat Spam out of a pouch or something. I've got to fry it, Bill Gates filler meat, river rat, that is nasty and probably very accurate. So yeah, I mean, Rome is falling down at our feet, guys. And we have been bombarded all week with Kim Kardashian's bikini photos, how tall Barron Trump is compared to his mom, and the Britney Spears fiasco. These are all headline news stories this week. Like we don't have bigger things going on here in the United States. And that's not me. Me either, Chuck Norris. I can't live without coffee either. That's not me hating on Britney Spears or, Kim Kardashian or whatever. There's just more important things going on, I don't care about Kim Kardashian's bikini pics. I care about not running out of food. I care about not getting dragged into another senseless war in Haiti. Canned chicken and rice. Eat more rabbit. 5 Virgins Prepper. What's up with that name? If you don't mind me asking. We have rabbits everywhere. Everywhere. We probably see, I don't know, close to 7 or 8 a day. And they never look the same. They're dark, or they got a little bit of red on them or something. They're all over. My wife gets mad because they get into her flower beds. I am going, y'all, a bunch of you mentioned the ramen noodles this morning. I'm going to mix some of those in as well. Michael Grubb, well, hopefully you win it. If you are willing to email me, I hope you win it. Okay, Jennifer Cruz, I did not know that. Thank you for that. I feel really bad now. I thought somebody was just trying to be clever, but I didn't realize that. My bad. How are you on Schwann's food, John Kelly? I know what Schwann's is. I don't know if we have one nearby, to be honest, or how far away it is or whatever. Arkansas Living. How are you talking about virgins in your flower bed? What is happening? I don't know, man. Put a Vienna sausage in the microwave for 30 seconds, Vicky. I've never done that. I've put them in a frying pan, but I've never tried to microwave them. And I think they have like the spicy or the barbecue or something like that as well. The only ones I don't like, I think they're either Vienna sausage or they're a spin-off of it or something. They have like a jelly in them, like a gelatin, and it is nasty. And my wife will vomit when she sees this. Like you pull it off and it's just jelly everywhere, and she gets very sick. It's Vienna sausage. Vienna sausage, Tuck. That's probably how it would be said around here. New York Defiant, I am sorry. Google likes to play this game where they don't notify people they should, and they unsubscribe people. randomly throughout the week. I get a dozen or so emails every week saying, John, I got unsubscribed. And it's something I wish I could fix, but they won't let me do it. Brian, last name, like the video of the guy eating pig's feet. They sell pig's feet here. I have some family that eat pig's feet. They believe they are a delicacy. To me, they are not a delicacy. I could eat them if I was hungry enough, but it ain't gonna be in my top 10. Pretty much, Chuck Norris. He said everything's good fried. Oh, just no. Well, Nicole, I mean, again, you know, I think if you were hungry enough, you would eat almost anything, you know? But it would have to be cooked proper. I didn't know how to cook them. I don't know the first thing about them. Yeah, Paul Jones, Vienna is a treat for my dog. Exactly. You know, if we catch it, or just a really stupid good deal at the grocery store, we'll buy some. And we'll replace the ones that are going out, you know, out of Best By date, still edible. And then we'll take those off the shelf and, you know, we'll mix them in with the dog's food. That's how we do all of the nastier meats. All of the canned Spam and stuff like that, and corned beef hash. Pig's feet, hard-boiled eggs, and cold Iron City beer. Again, it wouldn't be in my top 10, but I would try that probably. So anyway, tomorrow morning, just a reminder, I'm going to try again to give away the knife. I'm going to film the video shortly, and I'll run it in the morning. And then we're going to be talking about a shortage that was brought to my attention by Night of the Living Preppa, who I believe is in chat. Thank you for that intel, brother. On the intel, folks, I welcome any intel. The only thing is, if somebody sends me intel and it's got 15 other creators that it's been emailed to, I usually don't bite on it, just because I figure one of them, they're going to run with it, and I don't want to be an echo chamber. I don't want to be talking about the same thing same day, you know. So please don't be offended, you know, if you send it to 15 people and I don't cover it the next day. Peanut butter and honey sandwich. Dave, I eat those all the time. Love them. Brian, that would be correct. That would be correct. All right, so I'm going to go and check and make sure that my vehicles are still outside and the storm hasn't blown them away. But I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you very much. If you don't mind, shoot a quick thumbs up. And I will talk to you in the chat tomorrow morning at 9 a.m., right? Thank y'all very much for being here, and God bless.